Every second feels like you're running in place, grinding harder, pushing longer, but somehow the gap just keeps growing. The market's shifting under your feet, the rules keep changing, and you're drowning in a sea of noise and cliches that promise so much but deliver little. The pain isn't just about missing numbers or losing deals. It's that gnawing doubt creeping in, whispering that maybe the way you're going about this, the old playbook, isn't enough anymore. Everyone's copy-pasting the same tired GTM strategies, regurgitating buzzwords, chasing overnight hacks that blow up and then fade away. They feign progress, but beneath it all lies paralysis, the fear that your product, your vision, your years of sweat might vanish in the roar of sameness. Your gut screams for breakthrough, for something that doesn't just tweak the edges but tears down the illusions that trap you in a cycle of mediocre wins and catastrophic losses. There's a truth that's been buried under layers of comfort and convention. What's sold as go-to-market today is a shallow shadow of what it could be. It's designed for followers, not for leaders. For crowd pleasers, not trailblazers. It's a script that demands you fit in, conform, stay predictable. But deep down inside, that fire, the one that made you start this journey, is screaming to be unleashed, to shatter these cages. Imagine, just for a second, a GTM playbook that doesn't ask you to become a copy of someone else, but to become the original you were meant to be. A map not drawn by the so-called experts who profit from your confusion, but by the outliers who refuse rules, who invent instead of borrow, who build where there was nothing before. This new GTM playbook isn't about quick fixes or catchy slogans. It's about radical clarity. It's about knowing exactly who you are talking to, and more importantly, why they would trust you over the countless others screaming for the same attention. It dives deep into the messy human story beneath the numbers, the fears, the dreams, the real problems your market faces, and then it equips you with a framework so tight, so sharp, it slices through noise like a blade. You'll discover how to craft messages that don't just sell but connect, how to build communities that don't just follow but fight alongside you, and how to design funnels that don't fatten the top but flood the bottom line with devoted, paying customers. This isn't guesswork. It's not tactics copied from some blog post 10 years ago. It's born from the frontline experience of founders who burned out, hit rock bottom, then rewired their entire approach and exploded growth against impossible odds. Forget hacks. Forget splashy launches that fizzle. The first revelation from this playbook is that the market itself isn't broken. The way we've been taught to approach it is. You don't fight a field of competitors with noise. You fight with precision. Precision that comes from radical honesty about your offering and brutal empathy for your audience. For the founders stuck in this fast grind, juggling product, sales, fundraising, leadership, this is a lifeline. The playbook shows how to build a system where every move you make builds momentum. Every conversation, every piece of content, every email does the exact job it's supposed to do. That means no more wasted time on dead ends or shallow vanity metrics. You'll learn to spot signs that actually matter, signals of engagement that turn strangers into collaborators, curiosity into conviction. But maybe the most electric part of this playbook is how it frees you from the tyranny of arbitrary rules. It's not about checking boxes or best practices that everyone else follows to mediocre results. It's about breaking down what you think you know, unlearning everything comfortable, and rebuilding with a mindset that questions, tests, and adapts on the fly. Imagine a GTM strategy that's not stuck in old-world assumptions, but flexible, responsive, and fiercely aligned with who you really are and where your market is actually going. The freedom to experiment without fear, the power to create without limits. Because the world doesn't reward comfort zones, it rewards those brave enough to burn them. Listen, if you're tired of the noise promising shortcuts but only delivering frustration, this playbook grabs that pain and transforms it into unstoppable momentum. It's designed for those who aren't here to blend in, but to blow up the system that keeps them small. It's for founders and leaders who look at failure and refuse to accept it as the end. It's for investors and visionaries who know the future belongs to the few who question everything, who dismantle assumptions and rebuild what's possible. One of the most powerful parts of this new GTM approach is the network effect. How it connects the right players at the right time in brutally honest, mutually beneficial ways. Because no one scales alone anymore. You don't just need customers. You need allies, co-creators, catalysts pushing you forward when you hit walls. This playbook shows how to build that infrastructure. That autonomous network, where rare brilliance meets rare opportunity, where misaligned ideas find perfect harmony. Here's a secret few say out loud. Markets aren't about customers. They're about conversations. Strategic, intentional, meaningful conversations. And this GTM playbook rewires you to listen for the signals buried beneath surface chatter. How does your ideal customer speak when they're struggling? What keeps them awake? What does success look like through their eyes? Flip the narrative from selling to solving. Because sales done right isn't about closing. It's about opening doors to new relationships, new trust, new ecosystems that become unstoppable engines of growth. It also arms you with frameworks to reduce risk and keep your cash flow alive. So growth isn't a wild gamble, but a carefully orchestrated evolution. This is huge. The playbook rejects scale at all costs. It's not about building massive audiences that watch passively. It's about cultivating intense, engaged circles who breathe your mission like their own. These aren't just customers. They're your tribe, your defenders, your loudest advocates. And with modern tools, community isn't a buzzword. It's the backbone of longevity. You'll see how to nurture that fire daily, avoid burnout traps, and build a cycle of compound trust that transforms one-time buyers into lifelong partners. That's how you build a GTM machine that doesn't just spit out leads, but spins a web no competitor can break. Another mind-blowing insight: the old GTM playbook hides the importance of your story. Not the boring about us nonsense, but magnetic storytelling that aligns with your deepest why and resonates with the audience's core. You'll learn how to frame your journey, your product, your values in ways that pull people irresistibly into your orbit. Authenticity isn't a tactic, it's gravity. And the playbook teaches you how to generate that pull consistently, across every channel, every message, every interaction. No fluff, no copycat garbage. Just real, raw, human connection. Now, some will say this playbook is risky, even reckless. But that's exactly why it works. It demands you tear down the comfortable illusions and face uncertainty head-on. After all, comfort killed more innovation than failure ever did. The pain you feel, whether it's stagnation, missing your numbers, or losing mindset battles, is a sign something needs to change. This GTM playbook invites you to be ruthless with your assumptions, patient with your craft, and selective about who you align with. Because you can't win by trying to please everyone. You win when you build for the few who get it, the few who burn as fiercely as you do. These ideas aren't theoretical. They come from the trenches. Founders who stepped away from the noise, rewrote the rules, and discovered breakthrough growth measured not just in dollars, but in freedom, impact, and unshakable confidence. Investors who stopped chasing trends and started backing system breakers. Professionals who refused to play the game on old terms and instead created new markets altogether. This playbook hands you the tools to do the same. Here's the kicker: the world needs this now more than ever. We're living in the age of illusions, false promises, and digital noise drowning out real signals. Most GTM strategies only deepen that problem. But this playbook is the antidote, a blueprint built for disruption, for tearing down barriers, for unleashing potentials that no one saw coming. It's for rebuilding a market landscape where the exceptional aren't silenced or gaslit but amplified, where difference isn't a weakness, but a weapon. So buckle up, because this isn't just a new GTM playbook. It's a revolution in how you think about market entry, growth, and impact. It's about transcending outdated belief systems and rising into a space where your voice is heard, your product is wanted, and your mission is unstoppable. The choice isn't between playing safe or failing hard. It's between staying trapped in the echo chamber or breaking free into a future only the fearless dare to claim. The edge belongs to those who reject comfort, who question everything, who become more. And this playbook is your gatekeeper, your launch pad, your secret weapon. Wherever you stand right now, whether exhausted, frustrated, or just hungry for change, here's the truth. You don't need permission to rewrite the rules. You don't need approval to build the network that supports your vision. You need the right framework, the right mindset, and the courage to burn the old playbook and write your own. You're not just watching another marketing video. You're stepping into a movement that's rewriting what it means to go to market. The time for borrowed lives and borrowed rules is over. It's time to create what's next. Now,